Bo Brock, we teased it. BG and I talked about it. The decision as it relates to Kyler Murray. Does it become easier, in your opinion? He's eligible to come off of PUP at any point. Tomorrow, these next 12 to 24 hours are going to be critical. Does it become easier now to pull the ripcord and say, we got to get K1 back, given Josh Dobbs' play? Or are you still proceeding according to plan despite his performance today?
Slam dunk. No hesitation at all. Like, we talked to our guy Baldy, and this is coming off a couple rock solid performances from Dobbs, and not trying to discredit the quarterback and what he's been able to accomplish here, but this pretty much solidifies, like, hey, you see what performances you could get, and even on some of his worst days, Kyler Murray, you're not getting what you saw today against the Cincinnati Bengals from Joshua Dobbs. So, I think that the Arizona Cardinals, it remains what Monty Ossenfort said at training camp. We will not hesitate. As soon as he's 100% mentally, 100% physically, he's got to get through these checkpoints. He's got to check out medically, and then he gets, back to that football bucket that JG's talked about. And then once he's up to speed as far as what they need offensively and knowing this offense, then I don't think they'll hesitate to deploy him as soon as he's ready.
BG, your opinion right now, Kyler Murray, do you think he starts practicing this week based on what we've heard, or you think they're going to give it another week?
I think you still have to stick to the game plan with Kyler, right? You don't want to bring it back too soon if it's something where he's not comfortable yet. But when he is comfortable, like you said, they explain it when he's 100% mentally and physically ready to go. I don't think you hesitate in that situation either. I think you have to get back in here, let him get acquainted. Obviously, he's going to take, how they said, it's going to take a couple weeks of practice getting him back in the fluidity with his receivers. He's got new receivers now. So when he's ready 100%, you have to put him in this game and see what you can do with the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Johnny, let me ask you this. We've seen this team pivot once they've seen poor play, especially from the trigger guy, as JG calls it, right? The quarterback. What do you think? Do you think that this could maybe expedite things?
I think twofold. I think, number one, they thought this was a very winnable game for them. And the offense, while not perfect, really struggled as it relates to setting the defense up for failure. You gave the Bengals 7 points. You turned the ball over. Potentially not having James Conner, I think, will factor into this, because Dobbs has had James Conner every step of the way. It's made his job easier. I also think right now, the state of this defense, and I'm not putting this on Nick Rollins, is so undermanned. If you're going to win games, it almost feels like you have to win games a very specific style, and that's winning shootouts. And you're not winning shootouts with Joshua Dobbs. Now, is that fair to Kyler Murray to come back and say, hey, Kyler, you got to go score for score like it's Cliff Kingsbury circa 2020 with this team? Fair or not, like, Kyler Murray, I would imagine would be up to that challenge. But the defense giving up 16 points to the Dallas Cowboys, that defense may not be available for a hot minute while you wait on Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson and some of these guys. Joshua Dobbs may not have his Pro Bowl running back available to set the tone of the line of scrimmage. Like, I'm factoring those things in. Can Kyler Murray go into LA? Can he go into Seattle and win? Fuck yeah, he can. Like, Joshua Dobbs can win under very specific set of circumstances. If those circumstances were still in place, as we've talked about for the latter part of the last month, then you feel good about him playing games for you. But today, it felt like when the wheels were falling off and they were losing 10-0, James Conner goes out, Jalen Thompson goes out. It's like SOS, come save me. He wasn't good anyway up until that point, completing under 50% of his throws. So it's funny you bring that up, Bo. The minute they pulled the ripcord on Colt McCoy after that shitty week of practice in Minnesota, it's like, we got to pivot. We got to pivot. Josh Dobbs, and here I'll give him credit, BG, has bought them enough time to be a viable, watchable product on Sundays. If we're getting closer to the Cardinals being what people thought they were before the season, and Kyler Murray is ready to go, it almost feels like, Bo, the perfect time to say, let's do it. Let's get you back practicing this week. Maybe it's not against the Rams. We know he needs multiple weeks of practice. But I have a sneaking suspicion that it's time to ramp it up with K1, because now this team needs Kyler Murray more than ever.
Yeah, Rams, obviously it's not on the table that he's going to be in the lineup, right? But can he start the preparation period? Can he get his feet on the practice field? Mm-hmm. That's where that begins, right? Then you got that 21-day window. I'm a little hesitant looking at Seattle on the road after LA. That's a tough, obviously you got to factor in that it could be a slick playing surface. Like then you're looking home Baltimore. You got 2 weeks potentially as far as games go that you got to prepare Joshua Dobbs for it, but then also ride that fine line of getting K1 prepared at the same time.
How difficult is it going to be to get him prepared while simultaneously preparing Joshua Dobbs, Britton?
I think that's going to come back to Kyler's work ethic on that point. Because if Josh Dobbs is your answer right now, and he's going to start the game and we're working on getting Kyler in there, you still have to put all of your eggs into Dobbs, making sure he is fully prepared to start and play that game. Kyler's got to be in those meetings. He's got to be paying attention to what the game plan is, how they want it run. But at the same time, he's got to be putting in his own work. He's got to watch the film on these. He's got to study what's going on and figure out how he can be, if it's comes to it, how he gets inserted into it, he's ready to go at the same time.
I want to talk about some of these super chats, but first I want to talk to my guys about my favorite pair of sunglasses, Bo. It's our friends at Shady Rays.
Can't beat Shady Rays. Of course, you can look online, their full product line, shadyrays.com. Get some premium polarized sunglasses for you and the fam, for you and your friends. You're out there on the golf course. They got the fully polarized, and then they take that polarization down so it doesn't compromise what you're trying to see out there on the links, or maybe you're playing different sports. You're out there on the gridiron. You're out there playing softball or playing baseball as well. You got the sunglasses that you're going to look good in, and they're also going to do the job for you, and you're not going to compromise. Breaking the bank with Shady Rays. Check them out in Kierland Commons as well, up in Scottsdale. You can use our promo code PHNX just like you can online. Tell it to whoever's checking you out there, PHNX. You can get 50% off 2 or more pairs of premium polarized sunglasses from Shady Rays. Check them out, shadyrays.com, or up in Scottsdale in Kierland Commons at Shady Rays at their store, and you can use the promo code PHNX. Save yourself 50% on the sunglasses that 250,000 people have rated 5 stars.
Let's get to these super chats here. Sports Hero, friend of the program, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Sports Hero. Wish Dobbs used his legs more, keep the defense honest. Just 3 carries for a yard. It did feel like a couple different times he had a chance to take off and run. Wonder if it was a byproduct, gentlemen, of the pass protection being shaky today. But regardless, I mean, the Josh Dobbs that we've seen, efficient, mobile, not turning the football over, an occasional big play, it just wasn't there today. And I think a lot of it, BG, had it to do with James Conner leaving the game and DJ Humphries just not being able to block Trey Hendrickson on the edge.
Yeah, no, and there was a couple of those where even if he tried to get out of the pocket, there was nowhere he could go.
Yeah.
So a lot of it was a breakdown in the offensive line, especially on the left side of that offensive line. So everybody would like to see him use his legs more, yes, especially in situations where he has to get out of the pocket. But there's a lot of times where there's no way to escape. It's just at that point, take the sack, hold on to the football, and don't turn it over.
This next one,
go ahead,
Bo.
There was a play that stands out, and it was the turnover on downs. He certainly had some field in front of him, and he decided to throw it towards the end zone, and Amari Dermacata was on the other end, but it was nearly an interception first and foremost. Could have put him in an even better situation before that big 4th down and 1. So I thought that was a play that he would have liked to have back. And when you think like, hey, could he have just maybe tucked it and run? I think that certainly was one of those spots.
Yeah. A couple opportunities too throughout the course of the game to throw underneath to the players that were open. He took a lot of big shots today, both in the pocket and downfield, and very few paid dividends. Joel, this one is for our guy BG. Thank you, Joel. $4.99. The Cards at such a talent disparity at most positions. Does that start to weigh on players as the season goes on?
I mean, you could look at it both ways, but I think no. I think if you're a player out there and you're letting the fact that we're playing guys that are much more, equipped than we are. If you go out there thinking, oh, they're better than I am, then you're going to get your nose wiped every single week. I mean, it goes back. I said it a couple weeks ago. If you don't believe that you're the best person on the field, who else is going to believe that? If you can't look at the person in front of you that asks who's the best player on the field and say it's me, then nobody else is going to come to that. There was plenty of times we're sitting in the locker room. Now, did my track record look like Larry Fitzgerald's? No. But when the interview said who's got the best hands on the team, I was going to say me. Yeah. Right? If I don't believe it, who else is going to believe it? Now, Larry's going to sit right next to me and laugh when I said it. But in my head, I believe that I was the best. And you have to have that mentality in the NFL, or you're not going to make it very long.
Well said. Absolutely. Let's get to more of these super chats if we could, Damon Dog. Super sticker from 4C33. Thank you so much. $1.99. Appreciate you supporting the show in that way, my friend. Alex, another super chat, friend of the program, $9.99. The line has played good, but they need to play better when Kyler Murray comes back. Dobbs can stand in there longer because of his size, and undersized Kyler probably gets sacked more often. Bo, what's your assessment of the offensive line today? I thought relatively fine. They ran the ball effectively. The right side in particular looked good. Man, it's that left side, and DJ Humphries just got worked consistently throughout 4 quarters today.
Yeah, and let's not, discount the guys coming after him. I mean, Trey Henderson has been making plays in this league for a while, and then inside, interior-wise, they've got some playmakers as well. So they had a better day at the office than the Arizona Cardinals on the left side of the line. I thought Joshua Dobbs really didn't know sometimes, and in the face of pressure, tried to figure out where to go with it and ran right into the face of pressure. I don't know. I mean, that is going to be an intriguing part of this when they reinsert Kyler Murray back in the lineup. Like, how will he be willing to stand back there, maybe take some shots that we've seen Dobbs get, or just even stay in the pocket and not just try to make a play with his legs like we're used to, in the past. So that's going to be a fascinating angle to it, but I'm not going to definitively say something one way or the other just because we don't know. We haven't seen Kyler Murray play in this type of an offense, ever. I mean, this is an offense that he's been a part of really since he started playing football, where he's in the shotgun. It's more spread out for him. This is more pro style. We'll just see how he takes to it just from the very get-go, because I don't think we can say either way, where he's going to struggle and what Dobbs does better than him and what he doesn't.